My name is Bradley Hallman. We're going to go get this started. You guys are all here for ICAST, and I guess this is what ICAST is going to look like in 2020. We're here to talk about Big Bite's newest bait, the BFE. I'm sitting in an airport right now, and people are staring at me like I'm crazy talking, and I think I'm the only individual within 100-yard radius without a mask on. So we'll make this short and sweet. But this is a really special bait. I've got it here. I brought some BFEs with me today on the airline. I'm actually headed to Florida to go do a little bit of deep sea fishing, see if I can get a grouper to eat one of these things. But the thing about the BFE, some of the things that people have asked, what make this different than some of the other baits that are out there, there's actually a couple of things that really are quite different about this bait. One is just the beginning and the idea of this bait and how we started and the way this bait was designed. We actually took this bait. Big Bite gave me the opportunity to design a plastic bait for them. And anybody that knows me, I've been fishing professionally for 15 years, and I spent my entire life with a flipping stick in my hand. So I knew right away what I wanted to design. In the bait market, as long as I've been fishing, this with the ICAST and things, that there's so much eye candy, and that's why ICAST is always such a big deal to all of us, because we all want to look at the newest baits and the greatest things that have come out. And we're kind of all missing that this year, but with bait designs go with the eye candy. Some of the baits are really good at catching fish, or fishermen, but not as good at catching fish. And it was really important to me when I designed the flipping bait that I didn't, the very most important thing was that it would catch fish, and that's what the BFE was designed for. I wanted a bait that the Andy Morgans and the Brian Thrifts had in the bottom of their box. They're not talking about, but they're making a whole lot of money on. And so the BFE was actually a combination of 3 or 4 of the best plastic baits that have ever been designed, between Cinco's and some of the creature baits designs and the tube, and tried to combine all 3 to create a very subtle action. The BFE is not something with a lot of wings and appendages that have got a lot of flip and flop. It's a very subtle fall. And if you look at some of the best plastic baits that have ever been designed at catching fish, that's exactly what they are. And that's exactly what this bait is. Another thing that made this bait unique was that through the whole designing process, with the assistance of Matt Painrack and BTL, we documented this entire thing, whether it be on my YouTube channel, all the way from Matt and I just going to a tackle store locally in Oklahoma City and just breaking a bunch of pieces of plastic apart and kind of putting stuff together and kind of getting the idea, to actually getting it on paper. That actually took my 15-year-old daughter, because neither one of us could draw, and she's pretty talented at it. And we documented all that's on my YouTube, and between it and BTL, really did a lot of things with this bait and created a lot of excitement with it. It's a bait that's going to catch fish, guys. I'm really excited that it's on the market. I really appreciate the opportunity to do it. I've worked really hard at this, getting this bait done and getting it done right. We spent a lot of time with prototyping. We documented all that as well. There's a lot of fish catches. This bait had already caught an 8-pounder before it even left for the final product. That's how good this thing was at catching fish. It really was a player. Really excited to use it. I'm really excited that it's being featured at ICAST with the this year's online 2020 ICAST. I wish we were all there to really roll it in personally, but this is how it is for us right now in the world that we live in, and we're all just trying to make the best of it. If you want to make the best of your fishing trip in 2020, throw some BFEs in your arsenal, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. If anybody's got any questions, hit me up in that chat box. I'll save them to the end here. I know that the people at Big Bite told me that if you guys are interested, you can contact them directly, or also in their brochure that's in this ICAST online. On the back of it, you can reach all their sales reps nationally. They're all listed on the back page. So any buyers on there that you're looking to put in stores. Sorry about having to keep hitting my screen. I have to keep admitting people. They're all coming late, but that's pretty much it. That's what I've got for the show today. I tried to make it as short and sweet as I could. The BFE coming to you from an airport in Dallas, Fort Worth. Does it sound good, Tammy? All sound good to you? Let's see if I can turn you on. I don't know that I can, but I'm going to try.
Hi, Matt.
There we go.
Why don't we we open it up to some questions if anyone has any for the BFE?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We're really excited about this bait. You know, we launched it last week and sales have just been phenomenal. People are already catching fish, and one of our pro staffers, Tom Alsop, has already won his first tournament using it. It's just been incredible, all the feedback that we're getting. So we are so excited.
I've had multiple messages sent to me. We're just the week that it's been out, guys all got their baits in, and then by that weekend, I've got pictures of guys finishing first, second, third in tournaments, catching big fish, and it's playing coast to coast.
For those who joined late, why don't you walk back through the different features of the bait? Yeah,
absolutely. So the BFE, the way that it was designed, like I say, the BFE is designed to be the best flipper ever. That's what BFE stands for. It's hard. I get off on this phone exactly where I'm at, but there's a rib all the way down the front of it, which gives this bait, it gives it the volume without taking up plastic, so it doesn't take up space in your hook. So you still have room. The head of the bait is thin where the point of the hook goes through, which also gives you lots of bite on your hook, so your hookup ratio is better in flipping. This bait was designed to be able to flip with either. Now, a lot of people get off on this, but it's really based so that I could flip it on fluorocarbon and braid, depending on the setup. And with braid, I use a straight shank flipping hook, just like what you see in the mats in Florida and places such as that. But also the EWG, the extra wide gap, which is what I flip on fluorocarbon. And I needed a bait that was designed to hold both hooks, because I didn't. A lot of times, what we're doing right now in the bass fishing world is we're changing which bait that we're actually flipping, depending on which technique we're using, whether we're using braid or whether we're using fluorocarbon. So this allows us to use one bait. This allows me to use one bait without changing. The only thing that I really had to do in it to make the bait really allow me to do both successfully was to be able to put this hook. I don't know what you'd call it. It's a drain, a ditch in between the vein where it comes in. You kind of see, I'll turn it there, but that's where the point of your hook lays. And it's extremely important for the straight shank when we're flipping big weights in the mats, in the grass, that point of that hook be able to lay in there and not get hung up in the grass, but yet easy penetration to a fish's mouth, because you already have problems with hookup ratios anytime you're flipping 1.5 ounce to 2 ounce weight with a bass anyway. And the BFE really is designed to allow that hook penetration to really up your ratio on that, along with the thickness of the head being so thin. When I lay that thing sideways, you'll see what I'm talking about right there. So like I say, this bait was 110% designed to catch fish. The thought process and everything about this was about catching fish, not so much about the marketing end of it, but it's worked out because, like I say, we're already getting so many people calling us and sending us messages of tournaments and stuff that they're already winning on it. And the bait's only been out a couple of weeks.
Does anyone have any questions for Bradley?
Preferred hook size. My preferred hook size is the 4/0 in straight shank and in the EWG. It is a little bit short on the bait. I can tell you that if I was sight fishing or if I was fishing more open, flipping water where I'm not trying to put it into a really tight spot, the 5/0 will fit this bait. That was another thing that we did with this bait, was to make sure a lot of the really good flipping baits will just barely hold that 4/0, just barely, like it's right at the very end of it. And it's so aggravating. So I wanted something that we could hold a 4/0 with very easily. And then the 5/0 can also go in this bait. And so the 5/0 is the one that just barely fits down towards the end. And so you could use both, but 4/0 is definitely my favorite. I mean, I guess you could say really that's what happened with this bait design, is we basically took 2 or 3 of the best flipping hooks and we designed the plastic bait around it. I mean, that's really what happened. I mean, that's where the whole thing started, without a doubt.
For anyone who's interested, make sure you go to the ICAST website and check out the Big Bite Bait Pad page there, because you'll find videos of Bradley using the BFE and catching some really nice bass with it as well. You'll also see a video that highlights the design process that was involved.
Yeah, that's something that's really unique about this bait was that we documented the entire design process from beginning to end with this bait, which is really unique.
Are there any more questions? It looks like Lisa Zim asked, can I use this for peacock bass?
For peacock, I don't know. I've been peacock fishing before. The only thing I can ever get them to eat is that top water and that jig. I would imagine, I can tell you that I'm fixing to try to feed it to a grouper and a snapper off on the Florida Keys tomorrow morning. Oh, I see the chat box here. Do you have any of your hooks in your pocket so you can show us how to rig it? I do not have any hooks in my pocket. I apologize. I do not. Got any more questions?
Yeah, I think hooks would have been a little difficult in the airport, Bradley.
Yeah, they might not have let me in with those. Hey, I got stopped one time in Mexico City with a big giant bag of 10-inch worms, and they'd never seen those before in Mexico City going through security. And the lady down there, she was like, she opened the bag, you know, and had that strong smell, and she was like, what in the world is this? All right, Lisa wants to know, cool, here in Singapore, our peacocks take top water too. Oh, she's in Singapore. Wow. Want to know if you tested that on peacocks? No, we have not. The only place we have in the U.S. that actually has peacocks is in Florida, South Florida, which is actually where I'm headed to, but we have not tested it there.
You disappeared for a second there.
Yeah, I got a phone call that came in. I had to hit the old decline. It's the issue with doing the Zoom meeting off the phone. It's working pretty good, though.
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining today. We are going to have another Zoom call this afternoon, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock Central Time. Coach Les will be going through the entire new product line for this year, which of course highlights the BFE. Do you want to talk about how many colors we're going to have, Bradley?
Yeah, we actually have 10 colors right now. This one right here is a hematoma, and we have the black and blue flake. We have, you're going to make me go blank asking me that runabout. One of the cool things that we did with this is we ran a color contest on Bass Talk Live, and they actually picked one of our colors. And we have another color called BTL, which are actually the Bass Talk Live colors, which is a triple lamb that they're just now finishing up. I haven't even got to see that bait yet. But the one that with the contest, we ended up with what, 1,500, 1,600, something like that, entries into the color contest. It was a really big deal. We had a lot of fun with it. And the color that ended up winning is called Bedlam, which is what the football games are called in Oklahoma when Oklahoma State plays Oklahoma. So pretty cool. And it's a black bait, and it's got the OSU Cowboy Oklahoma State orange flake on one side and the Oklahoma Sooner crimson flake on the other. So it made a really, really cool looking bait. And it'd be a really good bait to catch fish on as well. And then obviously all of the standard colors that come with big bite baits that they've been known for a long time, tilapia and tilapia magic. I know the guys up north really, really like everything in tilapia magic because it just imitates that brim so well. We've got a dark watermelon red, I believe. We basically covered all the spectrum so that we could take it from coast to coast, which is what we're hoping this bait does.
And for those of you just joining, Big Bite has over 80 new SKUs this year. So some of these are brand new baits, some of these are new sizes in some of our popular baits, and of course new colors available. And you can see 8 of our new entries in the new product showcase. So we do recommend you head to ICAST website and check out all the new products, and you especially check out our brand page where you can see our new catalog, which highlights all the new products in the very front, and some of the videos of Bradley fishing with a BFE. And we're just so excited for this year. So, and you know, we're available for questions. So ask your questions here or ask your questions on our brand page. And I want to thank Bradley for taking this time as he's flying down to South Florida.
It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate the opportunity. I've enjoyed every step of the way. Big Bite just gave me so much leeway in this bait design, and I really appreciated it. And we've really come up with a really successful fish catcher, which is what was the most important to both of us, and I know both of us felt that way. I've really enjoyed the process, and even if it means in the airport, that's great. I just wish we were all at ICAST rolling it out in person, but it is 2020, and we are where we are and trying to make the best of it.
Mm-hmm. And everybody come back and join us for another Zoom call with Coach Les. Again, that's 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central Time, and he'll be taking all your questions and walking through all of our new products for 2020 and 2021. So see you then.
All right. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.